viewers through election night. It was good having you. So what do you make now? You've had a chance to digest a little bit of what's happened. Yesterday was, felt euphoric. Now what?
Well, yeah, first of all, Scott, thank you for having me on election night. It was historic, and I really enjoyed it. The move yesterday, 3%, the best move in the history of any post-election rally, I think needs to be respected because it really highlights one of two things or both. One is that there was so much de-risking into that election. Actually, it was unusual. We actually fell 2 weeks into election day. That happens like about a third of the time. And the second is that animal spirits could be unleashed because of the interest and belief that there's deregulation and mergers and a pro-business environment. So I think it's a very respectable move, and I think it sort of argues we have 5 to 10% upside into year end.
At what point, though, do you get on board with Barry Bannister's idea that the train could be leaving the station heading, full speed to Crazy Town?
Well, he's sort of structurally correct that, this market top is not going to be because of someone's going to have a problem with PE or because a recession's going to happen. I think it's very likely, in the next 6 months, the top is because either firepower is exhausted or expectations have become unhinged on markets. We can measure either, right, we can look at margin debt. That's just been flat for the last 4 months. So the market's been up and most investors have been de-risking. That's fuel for me, upside fuel. And when you look at sentiment readings, it's not extreme. In fact, the VIX was elevated and only normalized yesterday. So I don't think sentiment's extreme.
Gosh, I was just going to ask you about the VIX. It's funny you went there. I'm staring right at it. I mean, it's down 30% on the week. At just a full-blown collapse, right? Don't forget, we were above 20. I think we were at 22 at one point last week. We're barely above 15.
Yeah, it was actually very interesting to look at the VIX futures curve. But on election day, the VIX futures curve was over 20 all the way through August of next year. It should be around 15, 16. The markets were pricing in tumult and uncertainty for like 9 months, 10 months. So I think there's a huge amount of re-risking taking place. I don't think people got their exposure yesterday and today.
The buzz around the stock market recently could be heard even in the farthest corners of Wall Street. And at the center of this new excitement stands a familiar figure, Donald Trump. Trump's unexpected victory in the 2024 U.S. election has sent ripples across the financial landscape, sparking renewed enthusiasm particularly within the technology and AI sectors. Analysts are optimistic, projecting an invigorating boost to AI stocks, with companies like Nvidia, AMD, and Micron poised to see potentially significant gains. These technology giants, pivotal to the ongoing digital revolution, appear to be benefiting from what is anticipated to be a forward-thinking, business-friendly administration that might sidestep regulatory holdups for the tech industry. Nvidia, already in the limelight for its monumental achievement of overtaking Apple to become the world's most valuable company, finds itself at the crux of these developments. This milestone not only highlights Nvidia's strategic advancements in the tech scene, but also cements its reputation as an industry leader. Enthusiasts and industry watchers are eagerly waiting to witness how these leading companies will navigate the evolving techno-political landscape under Trump's administration, with many expecting technological innovation to reach unprecedented heights during this period. Welcome back, everyone, to Investocracy.
Let's get to Jim and stop trading.
I'm always concerned about Taiwan and what could happen with China. The new president-elect, has been inconsistent. He was anti-China at one point, said that Taiwan should have to pay its own. But there's an interesting split between Taiwan Semi and Nvidia. They always trade together. But maybe Taiwan Semi, they put something on. If they put a tariff on, it's bad for Nvidia. I would come back and say Nvidia is a crown jewel, and the president is not going to go against the crown jewel, and that in the end, the Taiwan Semi relationship will be preserved, and you should not sell Nvidia on any of this, because I think the president still celebrates jewels that don't take money. Remember, they're not a CHIPS Act beneficiary.
Right. Also, given Elon Musk, one of the most powerful people in government he'll be, and what he has said and how he relies so much on Nvidia.
They have sometimes they're frenemies because obviously I think that Elon would like to be independent, but he always says the same thing, which is, boy, they make good chips. So I think that NVIDIA is not a loser, but a winner in this situation.
All right, so overall, Jim?
Look, overall, I think you have to follow that tomorrow's the bond market's in control. We have a couple of auctions going on that are not good. So remember that there are two things you need to remember. When interest rates go up, it hurts the Procter & Gamble's. And when we have trade wars, it hurts the Procter & Gamble's. So I wouldn't buy Procter yet. What?
Nothing. I see.
What's the matter?
It's getting hit on both.
Yeah. How about him, huh? Blue Owl loves
Blue Owl loves Wells Fargo.
Regions Financial.
Yeah, and Charlie Sharp is the winner because I think the asset cap goes away, and I happen to think. And David, I like Charlie more than Jamie. And I said that because then I'm going to get the phone call from J.P. Morgan saying, "Why'd you say that?" And I just say it's gratuitous. And I haven't even praised Anna Boutine yet.
Because it's true. You do like Charlie more than Jamie.
No, it has nothing to do with it. David, it's business, not personal. I'm not like the new president.
Jim, our thanks. Viewers, thank you for the work you've done in the last 24 hours.
I mean, I watched every L. I come home, my wife is watching another channel. I grabbed the clicker, man. Come on, I want to see how long this guy lasts. This guy's going for the record.
The narrative surrounding Nvidia and tech stocks within the AI domain is reminiscent of a classic roller coaster ride, brimming with twists, turns, and the occasional thrilling descent that keeps believers on the edge of their seats. Under Trump's leadership, the prospect of deregulation could become a driving force, potentially fast-tracking advancements in computing technologies and providing Nvidia and its counterparts with fertile ground for growth and expansion. The anticipation of such change harkens back to a well-known adage in the financial world. Bull markets climb a wall of worry. Bear markets slide down a slope of hope. With Nvidia's stock having surged nearly 200% over the past year, fueled by robust earnings and strategic initiatives, investors are understandably optimistic about the company's future performance. The momentum for Nvidia only intensifies with strategic corporate developments like its impending inclusion in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, a significant milestone for this high-performing chipmaker. Analysts such as Bank of America's Vivek Arya project that Nvidia's future chip releases, particularly the much-anticipated Blackwell Ultra, could entirely rewrite earnings expectations. If the audacious yet laughter-inducing prediction that Nvidia becomes a $200 stock compared to its current $148 holds true, then the potential ripple effects across the technology and financial sectors could be profound. But before we go any further, if you want to keep up with Nvidia's latest updates and keep up with the stock market's latest news, you can follow our Twitter account. We post multiple times daily about the biggest changes and catalysts in the market, so click the follow button if you don't want to miss the newest market updates.
All right, what the heck just happened? Was there really that much pent-up cash waiting to be put to work as long as Trump won the election? I am astonished to see such a powerful move higher. Dow surging 1,508 points, S&P skyrocketing 2.53%, and the NASDAQ pole vaulting 2.95%? It was as if all the sellers in the world dried up and there were nothing but buyers. Buy. The market likes Donald J. Trump, and it loves a peaceful transition to the next president. We got both. And we had a monster buying celebration. It was a bull jailbreak, and the bears never knew what trampled them. Now, though, at the conclusion of this amazing session, we have to ask, have you missed the Trump rally? Is it a one-day wonder? Very reasonable to ask that. That's how much the market was up. And you know what? It depends on the stock. Some are sure to go higher. Some may have already reached their apotheosis, at least until we get some verification, because while Trump was elected last night, it doesn't take office until January. First, let's understand that many people thought we'd have a contested election, which would cause tremendous uncertainty. The fact that we already know the winner is a huge win for the stock market in itself, which makes it a magnet for new money. This election, with its vicious maelstrom of hate and fear, is finally over. And it's over in a peaceful way. Second, the animal spirits unleashed in the stock market today were so powerful that buyers ignored the truly hideous action in the bond market. Normally, when bond yields shoot up like this and rates really bolted higher, the stock market rolls over. Stock buyers today simply didn't care. I've never seen this before. Third, Trump wants to cut taxes, all taxes. including corporate taxes. So numbers go higher. That's right. Estimates go higher. Earnings per share go higher. You do need to see interest rates stay low for things to really work. Someday, at least, it's going to matter. It's hard to keep doing this and piling on debt. But party on until we really see damage. That's what it felt like to me. Seems to be the mantra. Tax cuts will cause even more voluminous profits than we already have. Finally, we came in hot, but we were also still oversold. And many Trump stocks have been selling off because the narrative for the last few weeks, as you know, was that Harris was gaining momentum. How'd that happen? Well, I'll tell you how it happened. The polls were wrong again. We don't talk about that enough either, do we? That's another reason why we had this tsunami of stock buying. Money had come out because of Harris, came back because of Trump.
Moreover, the global context in which these developments are occurring remains as poignant as ever. Trump's pro-growth stance may encourage greater leniency in the digital asset market, which could lead to an increased demand for Nvidia's products, especially in Bitcoin mining and AI infrastructure expansion. Industry expert Dan Ives has spoken about a bullish foundation for big tech, hinting that the market's current dynamics distinctly favor Nvidia, setting a stage where even potential hurdles like trade wars seem surmountable. Despite the optimism, it remains crucial to be cognizant of prevailing geopolitical risks. Analysts are cautiously monitoring the fragile trade ties between China and Taiwan due to their significant implications for the global tech industry. Yet, with Nvidia's substantial market valuation acting as the wind beneath its wings, the company appears propelled into territories rich with opportunity and potential growth. But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
Yeah, so this is a name, I mean, it's kind of crazy whenever you look at even like a 5-year chart on Nvidia. It's straight up and to the right, up 2,700%. It's just mind-boggling. And this is the poster child for AI, right? This technology is powering everything from generative AI to autonomous driving. And this seems to be benefiting from every tailwind, at least in our universe, that we're keying into. You know, we're very bullish on autonomous driving. We're very bullish on data center expansion, and all of these things. NVIDIA is driving that growth. And so whenever we look at this name, you know, this chart I think is really reflective of kind of what is powering NVIDIA right now. You can see all of these other major big tech players increasing CapEx spend, and the majority of the market share, like you just mentioned, is going to NVIDIA. Additional points in our data suggest that NVIDIA is only continuing to grow its dominance. When we look at web visits, which for us, you know, could signal some future growth interest, and that's probably the best metric that we can look to in terms of B2B and things like that. And we see NVIDIA outpacing all other, I'll put air quotes around, peers. And so this piece of the pie, at least in our data, just continues to grow, and that CapEx spend from major tech players continues to grow. So while NVIDIA is trading at enormously high levels, you can kind of see why the storyline makes sense.
So Megan, what about some of these other names that are showing up on the screen here? I saw AMD kind of actually decelerating or actually in the negative, and then also Intel getting a little bit of love, even though it seems like the stock has just been beaten up. So obviously NVIDIA is doing its thing, but what about some of these other players within this space? How can they capture a little bit of this enthusiasm that NVIDIA has enjoyed over the last year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, whenever we look at that, I think that one thing to note whenever you're looking at the Intel versus the AMD is that Intel is growing from a very low bar, and AMD we've actually seen some really nice growth from, at least in consumer interest. If we were to rank these names, we would put AMD in second place, and this is one of those that we're watching as the next closest alternative to companies who are looking to, beef up their AI offerings, but maybe they can't get their hands on NVIDIA technology. We see a lot of them turning to AMD, and we know AMD has some really competent products in its pipeline as well. So I would say we see a little bit of a pullback in AMD, but at large, it's coming from a place of a higher bar and higher mention volume, higher consumer enthusiasm and happiness levels as well. So second place certainly is AMD, but really for us, increasingly the story is somehow NVIDIA is still continuing to expand its dominance, and still, this is the number one player, and it's not even close.
As investors ponder the choices laid before them, the buoyant growth seen by Nvidia offers a compelling narrative of potential prosperity. Today, Nvidia stands not just as a leader but as a vanguard, spearheading what analysts passionately describe as a generational opportunity in artificial intelligence and technology innovation. With current projections placing Nvidia's market valuation beyond $4 trillion, a reflection of both its domestic and international prowess, the company appears to be resilient, in part buoyed by a favorable political climate that provides an accommodating environment for tech development. Wrapped in this atmosphere of vigorous growth is an intriguing proposition for investors: the chance to ride the AI wave with a stock that continues to defy skeptics and redefine boundaries. By all indications, Nvidia's upward trajectory, highlighted by robust earnings forecasts, is set to continue unperturbed. Yet, as the stock market dance evolves, readers and potential investors are invited to look beyond the immediate and to reflect on what the future might hold for Nvidia in this transformed and ever-evolving landscape. With insight and anticipation, the market beckons confident voices to contribute their perspectives, fostering a dialogue that enriches collective understanding in these fascinating times where technology meets opportunity. And finally, if you would like to know what companies like Nvidia have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen.